Hi all, in this session we are going to learn about Active Directory or Microsoft Entra ID. Here we can learn what is Active Directory or Microsoft Entra ID, how we are going to create the users and groups, how we can set permissions for users by using RBAC control. Everything we are going to discuss in detail and I am going to show it to you in a practical manner as well. Let us quickly understand what do you mean by Active Directory. Here, Active Directory simply called as AD. It is a directory service and infrastructure for managing identity and access on your on-premises environment. Means simply if you are working in one organization, in that organization you have on-premises environment. If you want to run the identity and access management service on your on-premises environment, then the Microsoft is going to provide the Active Directory service. By using that service, you can be able to implement the identity and access management service on your on-premises environment, which is in your organization. Suppose you have your application or your organization infrastructure is in the Microsoft cloud, that is nothing but Azure. Suppose if you want to develop the identity and access management service on your cloud environment, then how you can be able to implement here the Entra ID, the formerly known as Azure Active Directory, is a cloud-based identity and access management service for managing users, devices, and access to cloud resources. Here, if you want to use the Active Directory service on-premises environment, you can use Active Directory or AD. If you want to implement the same over the cloud environment, then you are going to use the Entra ID. Both are same only, but based on the scenarios. Like if you implement on-premises, you are going to deploy AD service. If you want to implement over cloud infrastructure, then you are going to use Entra ID. This is the basic difference. Let us explore more about the Active Directory. Here what the Active Directory will do. It is going to manage users, groups, computers, network resources within a local network. Here as we discussed, the Active Directory is going to implement it on-premises level. In on-premises environment, if you want to manage the users, groups, computers and network resources, you are going to use the Active Directory. And infrastructure requires on-premises domain controllers and Active Directory infrastructure. Suppose if you deployed Active Directory over the on-premises environment, that will be called as a DC. DC is nothing but domain controller. Use cases. It is primarily used for on-premises environment or Windows environment, including servers and client computers. Client computers are nothing but the machines which has been used by the employees. That will be called as client computers. The machines which going to run the services are called servers. You know the difference between the client and server machines. Security. And here, if you choose the Active Directory while you are going to implement over the on-premises environment, here Kerberos are the one of the authentication protocols which has been used by the Active Directory in order to authenticate the user. Like we have the authentication protocols are there. If it is on-premises environment, then Kerberos is the one of the authentication protocol which has been supported by the Microsoft in order to make the authentication protocol. And let us discuss about the Entra ID. It is formerly known as Azure Active Directory. If I want to implement the Active Directory service over the cloud environment, then I am going to use Entra ID. The purpose is, infrastructure is a cloud-based service hosted by the Microsoft, and use cases used for Microsoft 365, Azure, SaaS application, and hybrid environments. And here coming to the security, in on-premises environment, which protocol we are using? Kerberos authentication protocol we are using. But coming to the Azure, you are going to use the authentication protocol like OAuth 2.0 and SAML and OpenID Connect. These are the different types of authentication protocols which are available over the cloud environment. It has been supported by the Microsoft Azure. And hybrid environments. Suppose if you want to use some kind of hybrid environments, like you are going to create the users in your on-premises environment, But your requirement is you want to replicate the same users which has been created in your on-premises environment in the cloud environment. Means you are syncing the users from your on-premises to cloud environment. In that scenario as well, the Entra ID is one of the feature offer the flexibility of syncing users from on-premises to Azure Active Directory or Entra ID. Means the users which are going to create in the on-premises will be replicated over the Azure portal as well. Fine. Here let us understand in detail. So I'm going to show to you guys some kind of scenarios in order to understand better how we are going to create the users, how we are going to set the permissions for users while performing their activities over the resources. Everything I am going to show to you in a practical manner. Let us quickly jump into the portal. I'm going to show to you some kind of scenarios how we are going to implement. Generally, RBAC, role based access control. Here, if you IAM, Identity Access Management. Remember, guys, this is the terminologies you need to remember. IAM stands for Identity Access Management. AD stands for Active Directory. So, why we are going to use AD? Here, in order to create users, groups, and in order to manage the devices, computers, resources, we are going to make the Active Directory. Authentication provided by the authentication and authorization has been provided by the Active Directory only. And one more thing you need to remember is RBAC, role based access control. Here by using this only we are going to implement for which user which kind of access we are going to provide. Means based on the experience. Suppose if you are fresher, I am not going to provide the entire access to you, because of if I am going to provide the entire access to you, maybe as a fresher you can do some kind of mistakes that will cause a business loss. So in order to avoid that, based on the experience of the employees, we are going to decide at which level of access we are going to provide to that particular resource or user. So how that will be implemented, I am going to show to you guys. So I just log in into the Azure portal. So first of all, quickly I am going to create one resource like VM. So what is the first and foremost thing which I need to do? I need to create one resource group, RG1 review plus create. Just click on create. Yeah, successfully the resource group has been created. And what I will do next, virtual machine, VM. Click on VM. So quickly I am going to create one virtual machine. And here I am going to select RG1. Okay, virtual machine name is VM1 and availability zone, no infrastructure redundancy required, and standard security type. And I'm going to select the image Windows Server 2019. Here I'm going to select username and I am passing the password. And here I am going to allow the ports. Here you know guys, the 3389 is the port number of RDP. So it is remote desktop protocol, and Windows 22 is for Linux machines. So and yeah, click on review plus create without doing anything. Leave everything as a default. So why I am going to create the virtual machine is in order to show how the access can be implemented, how the RBAC can be implemented. So in order to show that, I just created one resource. The resource is virtual machine. So I just click on create and the deployment is in progress. In the meanwhile, I'm going to open the duplicate tab. There we will see how to create users in Azure. So the creation of VM is in progress. So it will take some time to get it complete. So in the meanwhile, what we will have a look on it, Entra ID. So where, suppose if it is a cloud environment, how we are going to implement the identity and access management service? So with the help of Entra ID. Here, are you seeing the Entra ID? If you didn't see, then type simply Entra, Microsoft Entra ID. Here, if you explore on the left side panel, you have the overview. Like This is a kind of default directory. Name is default directory. This is the tenant ID. Tenant ID is plays very crucial role, guys, because of with the tenant ID only, the resources which you are going to create, it is going to separate based on your tenant ID. Means you are in Azure, so many organizations are there in order to place their infrastructure. How Azure is going to separate those infrastructure with the help of the tenant ID. If any request comes from this tenant ID, then Azure can understand, oh, this tenant ID is related to the particular organization. They are going to create the resources. So I need to separate from the another tenant ID or another company infrastructure. So with the help of the tenant ID, it is going to isolate the resources which you are going to create from the other from other resources which has been created for the other organizations. And the primary domain is the devtester98.onmicrosoft.com. Here right now I have only one user, that is the default user which has been created, the devtester98 only. And here the license is Microsoft Entra ID free, because of as I'm going to create this for lab purpose, so that's why I didn't take any paid subscription. So that's why it is going to show as Microsoft Entra ID free subscription. So right now I don't have any devices. So from here we can be able to manage groups, means like users. We can be able to manage groups. We can be able to manage applications. How we are going to manage applications? Suppose if I want to integrate any third-party application with the Azure, like we have n number of third-party applications are there in order to manage our infrastructure. Like suppose if you want to automate the infrastructure, you are going to use the Terraform. Terraform is a third party tool. Suppose if you want to integrate with some other party monitoring tools like SolarWinds, like there are different types of tools for monitoring. Suppose if you want to add some kind of other backend storage like Commvault service, which is used for backup, that is a kind of third party service. Suppose if you want to integrate any third party application with the Microsoft or Azure to your environment, then with the help of the Entra ID, and you can be able to make the registration of that application, or you can be able to integrate that particular application. And devices, here we can be able to manage the device management as well with the help of Entra ID. Generally the device management will be do with the help of the Intune portal. So we have the Intune service which has been offered by the Microsoft, which is used for device management. So coming to here, just click on users. So right now, do you have any other users? No, right now only I have one user, that is a default user. Suppose if you want to create any user, just click on create one new user. Here I am going to create one new user. The name is user1. Here I need to mention the name as display name is also user1, and password. Instead of auto generate password, I am going to set my own password. So here what I will do, here I am going to create user in my environment, and this user can be able to access my environment because of I am going to provide the access to this user in order to access my environment, and he can be able to perform some actions based on the permissions which had been set for this user. Accordingly, he can be able to perform the operations. So right now, if you observe here, the principal name is user1. Here how the email ID will be there, user1 devtester98@onmicrosoft.com is the user principal name. And here if you think about nickname, I am not going to take any nickname, and the display name is also user1 only, and I had set some customization password, and I am just enable the account. Here just if you uncheck it, what will happen? The user will be created, but it is not in the enable state. You just need to enable this and click on properties. Here whatever the characteristics which has been associated with the user, you can be able to fill all those details, like what is the first name, what is the last name, what is the user type, whether he is a member or guest. Here when we are going to select the guest, if you want to provide some kind of access to the user outside of your environment, then you are going to select as a guest user. Then here what is the job title of the user, and what is the company name, what is the department, what is the employee ID. Employee type is regular or contract purpose, when we had hired the employee, and the office location, who is the manager, we can tag the manager as well, and what is the contact details of the user. So here we have lot of characteristics which has been associated with the user while we are onboarding any user. So here you can mention anything, and here I'm going to mention as user one, whatever the details you want you can mention accordingly, but these all things are not required. Suppose if you want to fulfill this, then you can, it's basically purely based on your things. Here click on next assignments. Here you are going to create one user, but what are the roles which you are going to assign? You want to add the user in any group, you can add from here. Suppose if you want to add any role to the user, means what will, how the role will help to user, based on the role which I had been assigned to the user, he can be able to do the specific operations. This is nothing but a role based access control. Right now I am not adding the user to any group or any role. Simply click on review plus create. Just click on create. Yes, it will take some time. Yes, it has been replicated. So if you observe here, click on it. Here, this is the email ID. By using this email ID or user ID, the user can be able to make log on to the, where he can be able to log on to the portal. So how that will be possible, I am going to show to you guys. So here, copy this username, copy. Here I am going to select new Indigo tab. Go to portal.azure.com. So as I had created one user, I just provided this. Click on next. It is asking the password. As I only set the password, just click on sign in. It is asking the current password, new password. Okay. Because of, as a security purpose, it is asking user to change the default password which has been provided by the admin. Just click on sign in. So it is asking you to set the multi-factor authentication for your account. Just click on next. Guys, in your mobile, please download the Microsoft Authenticator app which has been available in the Play Store. Just click on next. Next, one QR code will be generated. You just need to download. First of all, you need to go to the Play Store and search for the Microsoft Authentication. Just download and install on your mobile. Once it has been successfully installed, what you need to do, you have the plus symbol is there, or scan QR code option is there. Just click on the scan code from your mobile. So then automatically what will happen, the authentication has been attached to your mobile and it is going to display some number, default number. You just need to press that number in your mobile and you need to approve from your end. Then only it is going to make you to log into the portal. It is going to provide some kind of additional security layer to your account. So here you had successfully changed your password. Then after that you had successfully add Microsoft MFA as well. Then it is going to allow you to log in. And here successfully, with the help of the email ID which I had been provided, the user can be able to log in. But if user want to access something in your account, here as I had already created one VM, virtual machine. Is that visible by user? No, because of I didn't provide any role to user. Then how he will be able to access? No, he didn't get anything. He cannot do anything. He didn't get anything because of here. If you want, if the user want to create any virtual machine, can he able to provide? No, because of as I'm not providing any permission to user or any role. So what I will do? So here go to the resources. The name of the resource is VM1. So here right now I am a global user. DevTester98 is a global user. Here I am going to provide as a global administrator. I can be able to provide the required access to the user. So here what I will do, here if I want to provide any kind of permission, where I need to go? Go to access control, like IAM, Identity Access Management. Here go inside and here add role assignment. simply here role is I am going to select the reader. Okay, then after that members, and here select members. So for which user you want to provide the reader access? User 1. Here user 1, just select the user 1 and okay, select, and next review plus asset. Here what we had done is I just provided reader access to the user 1 to the particular resource VM1, because of here I am going to provide the access at resource level. Here simply I just went to the VM1 properties. There I just seen the access control IAM. Here what I will do, what I had done, I just click on the access control IAM. I just provide the reader access, means for this particular VM the user has the reader access. Remember guys, here we are provided the access at resource level only, means here VM1 level only. Here only for this particular VM1 only the user can be able to access. Simply he will be able to read. He cannot do anything because of I just only provided reader access. So if I go to the Indigo tab, so earlier the user did not able to see anything. But if I refresh here, then user can be able to see the VM1. Yes. Is the user able to see VM1 or not? Yes, obviously he can be able to see VM1 because of as I provided reader access. Suppose if you click here, then if you want to perform some kind of activity on top of the VM1, which you have the access, but what access you have? Reader access only. But if you want to perform any activity, is that allowed? No. Suppose if I want to restart the mission, just click on restart mission. Yes. Is it allowed? No. It is throwing an error like failure to restart the virtual machine error. The client user1 at the rate this account object ID does not authorization to perform the action because of you are not authorized or authenticated, means because of in order to restart the mission you have some kind of specific role. You just have the reader role only. With the reader role you are not, you are only limited to just see the objects, but you cannot be able to perform any activity on resources. Suppose if I want to perform any activity, then what you need to do, you need to change the access level. How I can be able to do that? Again I will go to the VM1, just go to the IAM. Here if you want to check the access of any user, from here you can be able to check. So here I am searching for user 1. So user 1 having which access? Right now he is only having the reader access, but I am going to modify this access, add role assignment. Here I am going to provide the contributor access. Go to privilege administrator, just click on control. Next here I am going to select user, the user 1. Yes, select review plus SA. We'll check. So the role assignment is in progress. Like here I'm going to change the access level of user 1. Earlier he only have the reader access, but right now I'm going to modify to the contributor access. So with the contributor role, the user 1 can be able to perform any activity on top of resources or resource VM1, because of I just only provide the access to VM1 only. Here in the meanwhile what I will do, I am quickly going to create one more VM. Here create Azure VM RG1 VM2, no infrastructure redundancy required or standard. Yes, this is the mission which I'm looking for. Okay, dev tester 928. I'm going to set the password. Yes, I'm going to allow the ports. Okay, review plus create without doing anything. Just quickly create the one. So here, what will happen? Let me check. So is the deployment will be succeed? Yes. Validation has been successfully passed. Just click on create. Here I am going to create another virtual machine. The name of the virtual machine is VM2 in the same region. So here as I only provided access to user 1 to the VM1 only. Suppose here go to the Intego tab. Let me check. So right now go to the virtual machine 1 and refresh it. So whether the user will be able to see the VM2? Obviously no. Even though the VM will be created soon, but he cannot be able to see the VM2 because of as I only just provided the access to user for VM1 only. And if you click on the VM1, earlier he cannot be do any kind of operation on VM1. But right now, if you click the restart, yes, just check whether the activity can be performed by the user 1 or not. Yes, obviously earlier it is throwing an error. You don't have an authorization, but right now it is simply restarting your virtual machine because of as I had provided contributor role to the VM1. In the similar way, what we will do, suppose if I have 100 missions, I need to provide the user 1 to access to the 100 VMs or 1000 VMs. Can I go to each and every mission IAM, then I can add the contributor access to the user 1? Is it sense? No, because of it is not the standard procedure to provide the user at the resource level. If I go to provide in such a similar way, like go to each and every mission, provide the access to user 1, it will take lot of time. It is going to impact. It is not a smart way to work. So that's why we need to find out some other way how we can effectively provide the access control to user in order to make access to the multiple resources. Then how we can be able, right now I just provided the access to user at the resource level. So let me check. So here let us verify that. So right now we have two VMs. I'm going to show it to you guys. Here just click on VS. Okay, go to here, okay, virtual machines. Here are you able to see two VMs, VM1, VM2. But from here, where from user 1, I can be able to only view one VM only. I refreshing, but how many times you can refresh? There is no use. Still, you can be able only to see only VM1 only. Suppose if you want to get the access to all the VMs which has been created under the resource group RG1, then how that can be achieved? So I will do one thing, like instead of providing the access at the resource level, I am going to provide the access at resource group level. Then what will happen? Whatever the resources which has been created under that particular resource group, the user one will be able to get all the access. Then go to home, go to resource group. So click on the RG1 and go to IAM. Here click on add role assignment. Then here I am going to select the contributor access. I am going to select contributor access next, and I am going to select the user one, and select and next, review plus assign. Then what I had done, I just provided the user one as a contributor role at resource group level. Means what will happen, whatever the resources which I am going to create over the RG1, the user can be able to access it. So earlier I had provided the resource level, but right now I am going to provide the access at resource group level. In the similar way, if you want to provide the access at the subscription level, is that possible? Yes, obviously that has been possible. Just go to subscription, there you have right now what the subscription I have, pay as you go, and here also I have the IAM. Go to IAM, and here I can be able to add the role, and here privilege, contributor, member, and select members. Here I am going to select the user one. Here if you click on review plus assign, what will happen, you are going to provide the contributor access role to the all the resources which are going to create under the subscription, pay as you go subscription, which is currently I am holding. So in this way, how I want to provide the access. In that way I can be able to provide access. Here go to the user one tab, and if you refresh here, what will happen? It is going to display the VM2 as well. Earlier VM2 is there? No. Right now VM2 is also displaying. Suppose if you want to perform any action on VM2, are you able to perform or not? Obviously you can be able to perform. Just click on restart. Whether check the VM2 is going to restart or not. Yes, it is going to restart. Means successfully I can be implemented the hierarchy. Like I'm going to provide the contributor role at resource group level. Means instead of going to each and every mission inside of the resource group providing the access contributor role, so I will do at a resource group level. Then whatever the resources which I'm going to create over the resource group level, the user can be able to access all the resources which has been created under the resource group. So here in this way, and one more thing guys, so here go to Entra ID. Suppose you have 1,000 users. So for suppose if you have only one user, then you can be able to add at the resource group level. But in real-time environment, how we have n number of users are there. So I want to segregate. Suppose for 50 users, I need to provide the reader access. For 100 users, I need to provide the contributor access. For 200 users, I need to provide some kind of different roles are there. Not only we have reader access and contributor access there. There are multiple number of customization roles are there. So here you can be able to select multiple roles. If you want to create any customized role, you can select roles. So here Azure is going to provide some kind of default roles to you. Instead of, along with that, you can be able to create the customized role as well based on your requirement. Here different requirements are there. So how I can be able to perform the activity? There the groups comes into picture. Here what I will do, I am going to create one group. Just click on create group, just like a WhatsApp group guys. So what we will do in the WhatsApp group, we are going to add the users, and by making one admin user and rest of all the other members. So group name is group 1, group group 1, and all can be able to access resources. Okay, all can be able to access resources. Okay, and no owner has been. I'm going to select the owner as dev tester is the owner, and members I'm going to select the member as here I'm going to select user 1. Yes, user 1 is the member, because of I just only have one user, the user 1. If you have how many users you want, that many users you can be able to add under this group. Just click on create. So just now I had created the group. So inside of the group, what we have? Users. So if I applied or add any role to the particular group, what will happen? The role which has been tagged to the group will be applicable to the all the members which are in the particular group. Like suppose I'm going to show to you guys. So here go to the resource group and go to the resource group RG1, and here go to the IAM. Here click on add role assignment. Here I'm going to provide some kind of what a role is. This time I'm going to select some other role like privilege administrator role. So like user access administrator. Just click on next. Here I'm going to select the group is group 1. Select next condition. So what users can do? Allow users to only assign selected roles to select principals. Allow users to assign roles except privilege administrator roles, owner, UAA, RBAC recommended. So here I am going to select the allow user to assign all roles except privileged administrator roles owner. Like these roles are not owner or UAA something. It is recommended. Suppose I am going to continue with the default option. Allow user to only assign selected roles to select the principals. Means whatever the role which I had been selected for this particular group, that particular role will be assigned to the all the users. Just click on next. Here a condition is required for the restricted delegation control. Condition, what the condition? Okay, right now it is not going to trigger review plus assign because of as I had added some kind of privileged role. So that's why it is asking you for several questions like will you sure to allow, or you need to set the condition because of normally we are not going to provide such kind of privileged administrative roles to the any user because of, especially for groups, because of if I provide any kind of privileged access to the group, because what happened, whoever the members has been added to that particular group will be able to get the privileged admin access, means they can be able to perform any kind of such activities over your Azure environment. That will create some kind of business loss. Some maybe mistakenly or accidentally some person is going to delete your infrastructure, that will create a business impact or business loss. In order to avoid that, we make sure while providing the access to any user, we need to have a proper procedures. So once the requirement has been fulfilled, then only we can be able to provide access to the any kind of user. Okay, there is some kind of procedure there. Suppose if any user is requesting for some kind of any role, then it will goes to their manager for approval. Once based on the manager's approval, so you need to check with the user. You are asking for justification why you are requiring this position or this role. So based on the justification which has been taken, then only you are supposed to add that particular role to the particular user. Then accordingly he can be able to perform those activities. This is what has been implemented at the organization levels. Okay, so in this way we can be able to create groups, and inside of the groups we can be able to add users. Whoever the users has been added to that particular group, whatever the role which has been tagged to that group, accordingly the users or members which has been a part of that group will be able to get the roles, particular roles. So based on the role they can be able to perform the specific tasks over the Azure environment. In this way, we can be able to implement or create users and groups, and at the same time, we can be able to register the third-party applications as well. Where we can be able to add here in the Entra ID, you have the app registrations are there. So here from this option, you can be able to integrate any kind of third-party application with your Azure environment. Here you are going to create the service principals. Like if you want to see that, just if you want to register an application, just click on register. So here app1, select register. Then once it has been selected, if you click on it, then overview. Here you have the application ID is there, client ID is there, object ID is there, tenant ID is there. And here if you want to create any service principals or secrets, here you can be able to create the client secrets as well. S1 secret one, it is going to recommend for 180 days or how many days you want, that many days you can set accordingly, and just click on add. So this is the value, this is the service principal key which has been used in order to integrate any kind of third-party application with your. So for this application as well, I need to add one role. How that will be done? So here I just created app one now. Here if I want to permission at subscription level, then go to subscriptions. Because of here if I want to add any application, I need to provide the access at subscription level. So here go to IAM, just click on add role assignment, and here I need to provide some kind of contributor access. Next, here select users, here you need to select app1. It is not a human entity, but in the similar way, how we are going to add the role to the user, in the similar way we are going to add the non-human entity, that is application which you want to register. Just click on next, select, and review plus create. In this way, whatever the application you want to register, you can be able to register through the app registration. Just click on review plus create. Okay guys, hope you guys understood how the exactly flow is going on, what do you mean by Entra ID, Active Directory. So in this way we can do lot of things. Okay guys, and I think you guys love me videos. Thank you so much guys for your support, and please subscribe my channel and please share with your colleagues or friends whoever is interested to enhance their skills in the cloud technologies. Definitely these videos will be helpful for them while they are looking to enhance their skills, and I'm sure so I will try to put my 100% efforts in order to make this videos most beautiful for you and most wonderful content. And at the same time, I am also looking to get the boost up from your end as well, because of while your comments are your comments makes me more energy to make a lot of videos, so to put my more efforts. So and please and as I told to you, if you are looking for the material, just please put your email id on the comment section. Accordingly, I'm going to add your email id to the Google Classroom. Then accordingly you will be able to have the content. Then will be definitely it will be useful while performing the lab activity from your end. I'm sure for that. So this is all thing guys. So I will meet you in the next session with the new topic. Until signing off. Thank you. Bye bye.